Hello and welcome to the OGAE Germany Convention 2011. It's in Munich, in Bavaria, and now we have a big pleasure to be next to Marty Brem, who represented Austria twice at the Eurovision Song Contest. First as part of Blue Danube in 1980 with the song Wenn du bist Musik. And then the second time he came back in 1981 as a soloist when he represented Austria with the song Du bist da, or Wenn du da bist. Okay, Martin, nice to meet you. But
nice to meet you.
You're Martin or Marty?
I'm Martin. I had a manager back then from Jamaica, and he thought that it might be better to internationalize myself. So Martin wouldn't be as compatible to the international world. So he suggested that we should have Marty instead of Martin. So that's why back then, you know, I was a young man with high aspirations and not much experience, and I said yes, okay, let's do Marty. Meanwhile, I'm a bit more grown up and I prefer to be called Martin.
Alright.
Excellent. Martin, what can you remember from the days when you were at the Eurovision Song Contest with Blue Danube? Do you have happy memories of it?
I had very happy memories. I fell in love with a girl called Monique in Den Haag, and I just told the Dutch reporter that if he wants to sort of send a message, he told me already that there's a television show in Holland where you can ask for people to meet again. It's 31 years, you know, so I'm trying to find Monique again. No,
good luck. It's on Facebook.
yeah. Hey, I'm on Facebook. Come on, join. No, I mean it was a great experience, obviously, for a young man to go to this wonderful party, and even back then it was even loaded with a lot more, you know, seriousness or reputation, and it was about the song, and it was all about you represent your country, and so for us it was really a great experience to go there. Even, in 1980 we landed in place number 8, which was for Austria at that time, which was like, yeah, we're good, good, you know. So it was great memories. Yes.
Then in 1981 you came back to the Eurovision Song Contest. What made you go back?
The Austrian television.
Good answer.
No, I think the fact that Johnny Logan won in 1980, so like this, you know, young man with his hair, I had hair back then, and looking like a little sad and being all sort of you know, with a love song. I think that made the decision for the Austrian television, for the officials of the Austrian television, to say, well, we have to send a young man who looks a little sad into the camera and sings a love song with hair like that quite easy. So I think that's why I chose it.
Now, Blue Danube from 1980, does it still exist, the group, or did that split up? What happened?
You know what? I have no idea. But I think I got out immediately after the song contest and continued my solo career at that time. But I just saw yesterday, somebody showed me a record sleeve, vinyl cover of a single with Blue Danube written on it, and 3 of the existing members plus 2 new ones. I didn't know that. Probably I just pushed it back in my brain somewhere. I have no idea. I don't think so. I don't think there's any Blue Danube group still in existence.
But you have no more contact with the members?
No. It's 31 years old, and I left the music, at least the active musicianship part of my life in 1982. So I just was gone.
All right.
So is this your first being involved with the Eurovision Song Contest again since that time has passed?
Absolutely. It's 30 years, and I honestly haven't sang these songs for 30 years. So tonight, and I wasn't quite sure whether I should do it or not, but on Facebook, you know, I got this message from Bernd Korbasch, who was saying, have you got anything to do with this Marty Brem? I said, oh yes, yeah, maybe, what do you want to know? And he said, yeah, he wants to do an interview, and then he said, well, there's this party, or there's this convention in Munich, and would you like to come? And I said, oh, come on, me? What am I doing? I look different, you know, I have no hair anymore. That might not be a good idea. He's like, hey, come on, it's great, and people are great there. And slowly he got me into it. And then I took out my guitar and started to learn all those chords because I had to there was an orchestra back then, now I have my guitar, so I have to transfer everything to the guitar. But it was a great experience, and it's like a trip to the past for me, and I really enjoyed it so far, so let's see what happens tonight, but I'm quite tense.
So is this actually the first time you've performed these songs live before an audience since those days?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Wow, that's amazing.
Absolutely.
Austria has left the Eurovision Song Contest but will come back this year in 2011. Do you personally follow the contest? Have you followed it over the years?
Well, I was quite involved in the music industry in Germany, so I live in Berlin these days, and as I was, I know Stefan quite well, so I just followed last year because whenever he gets involved, it's kind of, it's good and interesting. So the whole Lena hype, I watched it because I really found it interesting, and what they did was very, very professional. And so I watched it and I was quite surprised how this whole thing, Eurovision Song Contest, evolved into some serious, big-time entertainment, wonderful, powerful show. So I watched it last year, but I didn't watch it the years before because it simply didn't interest me at all. I was in completely different territory.
Do you, when you're performing, do you actually have a preference performing solo, or would you prefer to be with a group like where you're with Blue Danube?
I think I was always a solo performer.
Right.
This whole Blue Danube thing was an idea of the Austrian television to do a casting band, although there was no, the word casting at that point was not invented for bands, but it was really the experience there to say, well, let's try it differently. Let's put together a couple of, good-looking young guys and girls, and let's write this song where we had to sing German at that point. So we have to find a song that will be internationally compatible. So they have this great idea of doing Du bist Musik, and then you have all those composers and all the styles of music, so everybody in the world would understand. And it worked. It worked so far that we landed into place 8, which was really quite an amazing success story for Austria.
Now, after your Eurovision performances in 1980-81, how did it continue for you? What did you do?
Well, it was a drama. It was a total disaster. We had a TV show in Austria, which was called the Marty Brem show, and that was slashed by the press. I was really on the cover of Daily, like Kronenzeitung, which is the Bild or National Enquirer in America. Awful, awful, awful. And they slaughtered me there for being such an embarrassing man, and I couldn't go on the streets and people would say, look at him, he's that failure, he's that ultimate failure. So I got a little psychoanalytical problem with the whole sort of surprising. That was not really nice, but I then started to write my own stuff and got my own band together, and grew a beard, and I had my cap, and I had my electric guitar, and I was really angry, and got all my anger out, and it was great rock and loud, and I really liked that. That was more like a catharsis, if you like. And then I stopped because I lost interest, and I went into journalism. So I became a music journalist, got to Germany, then entered the music industry. And then, funnily enough, I ended up as the record company boss of Johnny Logan and Anna Vissi later on, which is quite fun. And then I came back to Germany in 1997 to run Columbia Records in Germany. And then I stopped because my wife died from one day to another, brainstorm. And I had 2 kids, so I had to stop that thing. And I wanted to stop the music business and go on with some other stuff that interested me. So I went on into fashion. I created a fashion label and then sold that in 2007, and now I'm part of a management consultancy company in Berlin. And occasionally, obviously, I'm interested in music because my heart beats for music. But I haven't done performing for all those years, and maybe tonight is a little teaser for a comeback.
Well, hopefully.
We'll see if it's still okay. I don't know.
Yes, it could be the Marty Brem Show Part 2.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely, the sequel.
The sequel. So